talk a lot about business, we talk a lot about money, we talk a lot about growth and personal development, but none of that matters if you're not happy. So me being an investment advisor by trade, one of the things that I always talk to my clients about is diversifying their investments. But what I want you to do is I want you to diversify your happiness. The reason why I tell my clients not to put all their eggs in one basket is because if that basket drops or breaks, they lose everything. So if all your happiness is linked to one relationship, if all your happiness is linked to one job, if all your happiness is linked to one anything, then there's a strong chance that you are making yourself more vulnerable to have moments of deep unhappiness, sadness, depression, whatever you want to call it, because you don't have multiple things that are fueling your life and making you happy. So diversify your happiness. Find a bunch of different things that you can link your happiness to, so that at any given time there's something no longer is serving you or you no longer have access to it. It doesn't mean you no longer can maintain your happiness. Diversify your happiness this year. So quick question for you guys. Are you a firecracker or are you a candle? So yeah, a firecracker is real exciting, explosive, for about 3 or 4 seconds. But a candle, smooth, not a lot of drama. That candle can burn all day long. And I look at that the same way I look at business. There's some people that have these great marketing videos. They pop on the scene, they ride the wave of the latest trend, but the next thing you know, they're gone, right? If I were you, I would just be consistent. I would do the work over a long period of time, and that will make you win in business over just the dog and pony show of all the theatrics. But we look up 2 weeks later, 2 months later, and you're nowhere to be found. Focus on the things that last over a long period of time versus the trends that spark and then they're gone in a few minutes. So let me ask you a question. If you had an option to be the library or be the librarian, which one would you choose? Said another way, if you had an option to be the person that knew everything there was to know about everything, would you rather be that person? Or would you rather be the person who just knew the right people who knew everything? So don't try to feel like you have to know everything. Just be connected to the right people and the right resources that you can always point people to. As long as you're considered the person that people can come to for the knowledge, the insight, and the information, you never have to be the person that knows it all. Same thing can be said for your business. You don't have to be all things to everybody. There's a reason why the biggest corporations have accounting departments, marketing departments, sales departments. You can't be everything. Focus on what you're best at, and for everything else, just build very good connections or a very good team. Have you ever worked with someone in the past, maybe like a hairstylist, a barber, a web designer, just anybody who provides any service, product or service? And at some point in the future, you found someone who was better, right? And maybe you gave the first person a chance to level up their skill set, but this person is just sick and you really want to work with them. But then you have this like false sense of loyalty, like, man, I've already been working with so-and-so for so long, and you know, how are they gonna take it? Well, here's the truth, and it might seem a little harsh, but if I paid you, you didn't do me any favors. We did business. And as long as I provided mine at the bargain, i.e. stroking the check, you provided the video, the hairstyle, whatever it is that you did for me, then we're good. I don't owe you anything else at that point. So if you're on the fence about working with somebody who you feel like can take your business to the next level just because the person you have right now is somebody that you just always work with, I challenge you to remember that they're not doing you any favors. You paid them. You did business with them. And the moral of the story is, that's enough. Everybody wants to be a mogul these days. Everybody wants to have a serial entrepreneur. My advice to you is to be laser focused on one thing, get it right, then transition to the next thing. Everybody looks at celebrities like P. Diddy, Jay-Z, and they look at all the different businesses that they own. The truth of the matter is they got it right with one thing and leverage that to be able to scale into multiple areas. So if you want to really win this year, my advice to you is to double down on focus so that you don't spread yourself too thin. Everybody nowadays wants a big following on social media. They want 10,000 followers so they can get the swipe up. Then they want to get 25,000, 50,000, maybe even 100,000. But why are we so focused on growing the numbers versus truly serving the people we already have? Let me ask you this. If you had a live event and 1,000 people showed up, you would be mind blown. So why are you not impressed and satisfied with the 1,000 followers that you have right now? Focus on serving them and I guarantee your business will be more successful. So remember, depth versus width when it comes to growing your business online. Serve who you already have, and that'll take your business to the next level. There's some really dope people in the world, much less on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. And you might say to yourself, man, I could really elevate my life, really elevate my business if I could get connected to this person. Here's a secret that I almost guarantee will work. If you see somebody that you want to work with or collaborate with, help them get a bag, help them make some money. Go research whatever it is that they do business-wise and see how you can set up an opportunity for them. The beauty of it is you don't even have to be the one stroking the check. Let's say you still work in corporate America and this person is a speaker. See if you can get whoever's in charge of it to get them to come in and do a talk for the employees. Then you can reach out to the said individual and say, hey, you want to come to my city and do a talk for $2,500? Of course they want to come to your city and do a talk for $2,500. Now they're more inclined to want to work with you, collaborate with you, and help you because you led with value. So if you want to get connected to better people this year, lead with value instead of sliding into DMs, asking them to spend hours of their time picking their brain. See how you can serve them, and they'll be more inclined to want to serve you. So I was kind of doing somewhat of a science experiment the other day where, I'm too cheap to buy like 7-gallon jugs every week, so I keep refilling the same one over and over and over again. So I was at my refrigerator, and it was taking forever to fill up my gallon jug, and I said, I'm just curious, how long does it take to fill this thing up? So it took me so many seconds. I think it was like almost 4 minutes to fill up my gallon jug. And then I said, I'm curious, how many seconds does it take to empty out the jug? So I walked over to the sink and emptied the jug out, and it emptied the entire jug in like 7 seconds. The point of that is this: it takes 30 times more effort to build something up than it does to destroy it. So don't lose your momentum when you're trying to build your success, because I promise you, you're gonna put so much effort into building it, but you can destroy it in a matter of seconds. The moral of the story is you can lose it a lot quicker than the amount of time it took you to build it. So stay focused, stay committed, and keep pushing. So if you haven't wondered by now, we're not just doing circles around the city, we're actually heading out of town for a speaking engagement. So that's why we have the time to do this. But it made me think about something. At some point, we're gonna have to stop and get gas. And so gas is absolutely necessary. I don't wanna run out of gas. I don't wanna be on the side of the road, but all it is a resource that I need to get to my destination. It's a lot like money when you think about it. So you need gas on a road trip, but you're not going on a tour of gas stations. So when it comes to your money, you don't need to hoard it. You don't need to think about it all the time. You just need to figure out how you can best leverage the resource to reach your goals and reach your destination. That's all money is. It's a resource to get you to where you want to be. Here's an interesting thought. Your purpose is your purpose, regardless of how much you get paid for. Your purpose is your purpose, regardless of how much you get paid for. Now, your purpose will often lead to a paycheck, but that can't be what makes you make moves in the direction of your purpose. Here's an example, right? Let's just say I'm going out of town and I got some milk in the refrigerator, and I know that by the time I get back, the milk's gonna be expired. It just so happens that my neighbor says, hey George, you got some milk I can borrow? Now my immediate instinct might be, well shoot, I got some milk, but I paid for it, or I invested in it. Let me try to charge this guy for the milk. He says, well man, can I just have the milk? I mean, you're going out of town anyway. The catch to that is the milk is going to expire if it doesn't get used, right? So don't be worried about getting paid for your purpose, because at the end of the day, if it's something that's on the inside of you that needs to come out, it has to come out anyway. If it doesn't, it's just gonna expire just like that milk. So what I challenge you to do is stop always looking for the paycheck. Do what you love, regardless of what monetary value is tied to it. Get it out to the world, because if not, all it's gonna do is sit on the shelf and expire. Roll your boat gently down the stream. Okay, I'm a terrible singer, so we're not gonna go through this. But you know what I thought about for this particular post is that everybody has to row their own boat, right? Some people might have a cruise ship, some people might have a sailboat, some people might have a speedboat, some people might just have a little slack of wood that they're trying to, make their way to the shore. The moral of the story is, no matter what your boat is, none of us are exempt from the storms. So you might see the cruise ship and say, man, I want that cruise ship. But you don't realize the cruise ship has a storm just like you have a storm. Stay focused on what you got going on, and I promise you can have a much more fulfilling and impactful life. Have you ever been to a company that's absolutely crushing you? And you look at their website and it's like, how? Like, the website is trash, it's super basic, it doesn't look that aesthetically pleasing, but they're absolutely killing it. Well, the truth is, simplicity wins. When we're in an era of so much noise, when people want to come to your website to buy your product or service, they just want to see that. Sometimes the super pretty pictures and all the aesthetics doesn't win them over unless maybe you're a photographer or videographer. But beyond that, get to the point, make it simple. Don't overload your website with so much content that people lose attention span and then check out of your page. So keep it simple if you want to win in business online. Instagram does a great job of providing you with all the analytics. I mean, you know who likes your posts, who saves your posts, you know how many times it's shared, so you really can use those numbers to figure out how to engage with your audience. However, analytics aren't the end-all be-all. You also have to leverage your intuition, because analytics can tell you what happened and can give you some insight to what maybe you should do, but intuition is from your gut. You have to trust your intuition to determine what's next. The way I look at it is there's an art and science to growing your business, and numbers aren't the end-all be-all. Also trust your intuition. So I know this is gonna sound counterintuitive, but sometimes it's okay to let the ball drop. You're thinking, what? You should never let the ball drop. But here's the thing. In order for the big, good things to happen, sometimes you have to be okay letting the small, bad things happen. Sometimes you have to be okay not responding to that email immediately if it means it's gonna disrupt your focus on the big idea that you're working on. Sometimes it means delegating work to someone who may not be as good as you, but they can get the job done so that you can focus on the bigger vision stuff. So sometimes it is okay to let the ball drop, and all I mean by that is let the small, bad things happen so that you can focus all your energy on the big, good things. When we hear the word system, we often think of some like technological device, but all a system is anything that you can do to increase the probability of your success. If you snooze all the time, put your phone in the living room so you have to get on your feet to get up to turn it off. If you never fold your clothes and they're sitting in the basket till laundry day, dump them on your bed so that you're forced to at least look at them before you go to sleep. So sometimes you might push them off, but at least it increases the probability. So if you want to level up your success this year, my challenge to you is find out what systems you can put in place to increase the probability of your success. You know, one of my favorite quotes is, time will promote or expose you. As of these recordings, this is early on in 2019, and a lot of people are talking real big about all the things they're gonna do. Coming soon, bro. New release on the way. Book dropping in whenever. But guess what? At some point, whenever coming soon is coming. And if it doesn't come out, you're gonna have to eat your words. So what I challenge you to do, instead of focusing so much time on telling everybody what you're gonna do, just get it done. Because at the end of the day, time is going to either promote what you said you were gonna do, or it's gonna expose the fact that you were just talking. So if I were you, I would focus all my energy on getting it done and just release it when it's done and let the world see your actions instead of your words. So this one is for all my side hustlers, people who are building businesses alongside of still working their jobs. Here's what I'm gonna challenge you to do. A lot of people complain in that situation. Man, if I just had more time, you know, I would be able to crush it and take my business to the next level so that I can become a full-time entrepreneur. Let me ask you this. If you are really committed to your business, why not use your PTO to grow, right? Why not get paid from your job to spend time building your dream? That's a completely different paradigm shift. A lot of times you're using PTO to escape the reality that you don't like your job. But the smarter thing to do would be able to let your job fuel your dream by paying you while you're building it. So if you're really serious about building your business, instead of going on vacation, instead of taking time off just because you're trying to escape from your job, use that time to build your business intentionally. Take time off knowing that today I am working on my business and my job is paying for it. Just because you work a lot of hours doesn't mean you're gonna make a lot of money. So as an entrepreneur, the first thing you need to do is increase your value that you bring to the marketplace. Here's what I mean by that. There was a power plant up in Missouri a few years back that they were responsible for fueling power to the entire city. The power went down, and now who's in millions by the hour. They call in a technician. He's there for 10 minutes, turns one screw and fixes the problem. He sends an invoice, and the invoice is for $10,000. You might be wondering, how in the world did he charge $10,000? The plant manager was wondering the exact same thing. And so what he told him is, he said, turning the screw was $1. Knowing what screw to turn was $9,999. Increase your value that you bring to the marketplace. So vitamins are good for you in theory, right? Your mom told you to take them when you were a kid. You maybe even had the chewable gummies. But there's no real incentive to take a vitamin because you don't really know what the benefit is today. You're just told and you hope that it's going to provide you some benefit in the future. Versus if you break your hand, you'll do whatever to try to alleviate that pain. So when you're trying to position your product in the marketplace, my advice to you is to come out with a painkiller first versus a vitamin. A painkiller, somebody will write a blank check for. A painkiller is something that people want to alleviate that pain for in the present immediately. So stop trying to sell people vitamins, figure out what their pain point is, and you'll have a much higher probability of success. Nowadays, there's no shortage of online courses, online experts, master classes, webinars, which is all great. I'm all for it. I just challenge you to make sure you identify the difference between an expert and somebody who had a really good experience. An expert, by definition, is someone who has a comprehensive and authoritative knowledge on a particular subject. While someone who had a really good experience, they could have maybe broke their hand and found a way to heal it without going to the doctor. But are you going to trust them to be your surgeon? I don't think so. So just make sure that you really challenge the people that are considering themselves experts. Find out who they've helped other than themselves, because that gives them the credibility to be an expert. If you're just helping yourself, in my opinion, that doesn't make you an expert. Not until you empower and uplift and help someone else will I ever consider you an expert. So if anybody knows me, my wife can tell you, my phone dies all the time, every single day. And I don't even know why it does. Well, probably because I don't charge it. But beyond that, I realized that there was something else that was going on. I realized one day I had like 74 apps going in the background, and while I wasn't actively using those apps, it was draining my battery. I immediately correlated that to real life on why people can't succeed the way they want to succeed. They have so much unfinished business. How many things do you have on your to-do list? How many things are taxing your mental bandwidth that you're not addressing, that if you just got done, it would give you the energy to focus on the things that you're trying to do? So I challenge you to get that unfinished business off of your plate. Do not go into the next year with a bunch of things on your to-do list. Get it done, get it off your plate, and I promise you, you'll level up your success. Have you ever been in a season where it seems like life just keeps punching you in the mouth, like just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing, and it's like you can't figure out why this is happening to you? But here's a tough pill that you might have to swallow. There's a big difference between life coming after you and then life catching up with you, right? If you look at your bank account and you don't see what you want to see and you feel broke and there's an emergency that came up, the truth of the matter could be, how many decisions leading up to that moment could I have been more proactive about making better spending decisions that wouldn't have put me in a bind in this situation? That's a tough pill to swallow. And so you got to really do an honest inventory of how am I contributing to my own demise? How am I self-sabotaging my success? Because it's never the mountain or the big event that hurts you. It's the small little incremental decisions along the way that impact you over time. So be mindful of those small decisions and how you contribute to your own demise. So you see this iPhone cord. Well, it's not really an iPhone cord. It's like a janky one that I bought on Amazon for like $2. And have you ever gotten a little pop-up notification and it says, this accessory not supported with this device? And you're like, man, I really need my phone to be charged, but I bought this cheap, janky cord and I'm hoping that it's gonna work. I feel like a lot of us have that same issue with the people we're connected to. The reason why we can't level up is because we're connected to people who don't possess the skill set to take us to the next level. This cord is too cheap. It's not uniquely designed to charge this phone. If you're hanging around people in your circle that aren't designed to help you elevate, there's no reason why you're gonna elevate. So just remember that who you're connected to can determine the level that you rise to. Just like this iPhone cord. Make sure you check around in your inner circle to really see who's there to help you elevate. If you're the smartest person in your circle, there's a strong chance that you're not going to be able to rise much higher. Put people around you that are going to force you to level up if you want to take your life to the next level. You know, I can appreciate the hard work it takes to build something, but I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody cares, bro. Like, your reward for working really hard and creating a supposedly good product is sales. Your reward is people buying your stuff. So stop hopping on Instagram talking about how hard you're working, how exhausting all of your efforts are as an entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is, if I really created something good enough, people are gonna buy it and they're rewarding me with their money. The reason why you're probably hopping on the Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're complaining is because you're not making the sales, which means you have to reevaluate, is my product or service good enough? That would be like me going into Apple, buying a cell phone, spending however much money these cell phones cost, buying a cell phone, and then spending 20 minutes telling me about the intricacies of how much effort it took to go from a phone with a button to one without a button and adding the facial recognition. I don't care about that. I just spent $400. Just give me my phone. Like, I proved that it was good by giving you my money. So if you're not getting money for what you're delivering and you're substituting your complaints in place of actually creating a good product, then you need to reevaluate the value that you bring to the marketplace instead of telling everybody how hard you worked on creating whatever it was. So, we're driving a pretty nice car, and of course, I have insurance on it. I have insurance on this cell phone, so if I drop and crack it like I've done so many times, I can get it replaced. If I get hurt or sick, I have insurance for that. The ironic part is, though, it requires income, me being able to produce it, to be able to pay for any of the things that I just talked about. So, what's the insurance on your income? What's the insurance on your job? What happens if you get laid off, right? There is no insurance for that. The only insurance for that is entrepreneurship. So I don't care if you're a full-time entrepreneur or not, but everybody should have some kind of side hustle, because if you get fired or laid off, you need to possess a skill that can help you earn income if you lose your primary source of income. Let me know in the comments below, what is your side hustle so that if you lose your job, you're insured.